Hello and welcome to another Sunday Trash Here podcast, episode 51. The date today is the 27th of April 2014. So we had a week break, and you would think in that week break some news would be building up. You know, there's a lot happening in the gaming world. 2 weeks, wow, so much can change in 2 weeks. Turns out, exactly the same. Nothing changed, we weren't missed. Status quo is resumed.
Clearly they knew that we were having a break, so they just thought, we'll hold it off. Any announcements, we'll hold it off till, you know, Joe and Tom, they come back.
Yeah, but we are back, and nothing happened.
Well, now...
I appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, actually that's true. It needed to be 1 week gap. Things just haven't worked out. So we got nothing, alright? We got nothing.
We got nothing. Oh man, this might be Disaster Cast 2.
Oh, Disaster
Disasterning.
Disaster. Why not?
We managed to get through an hour and a half of the original Disaster Cast. So I think we can do another hour and a half.
Yeah, we can do that.
Maybe.
Easily.
Well, don't say easily. That'll make us look bad when we can't.
Listen,
because
I can moan for as long as necessary about Uncharted. You can probably talk a lot about Spider-Man. We're fine.
Yeah, there's plenty on the docket this week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could tell your hilarious Lego Grandpa story. That one put a tear to my eye. Oh,
that's a good story. Gather round. I'll tell you. No, maybe not.
No, you tell it, alright. We got time.
Oh. We've mentioned a few times on this podcast about Lego Simpsons and how I wanted the blind bags because I want the little Lego Simpsons figures. And they've done it. They've released them. I found some nearby where I live, so I bought some. I bought two. Because they're not actually that cheap. They're like £2.50, so pretty expensive. So I bought two, and I got a double straight off the bat. I got two Grandpa Simpsons. Whilst I did want a Grandpa in particular because of the Old Man Yells at Cloud, I don't want two of them.
Oh.
Two's too many.
So you're selling them on one of them on eBay, right? So, you know, people could go bid. And then maybe you sign it with a little banana collector's item.
I could do that. I'm not going to.
Muckluck original.
I'm not going to do that. I reckon I'm going to make a healthy profit anyway.
Ooh.
Because of Lego lunatics. Who must complete their collection.
Well, they probably got Grandpa. If you got two of them instantly, then they're probably a common one.
Well, that's what I was thinking, that some must be more rare than others, and I don't know which ones are the rare ones, because I've got no sort of indication on the packet.
No.
I don't know. I bet Mr. Burns is the rare one. The one that I want.
Well, I'd think maybe like Homer, or one of the family members would be.
Maybe Bart. He has like a little skateboard. That's quite a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm not a child, so I don't know about these sort of things.
Okay, I'm done.
I am kind of jealous. I do want to buy some, but I would have to go out of my way to go to a toy shop.
Yeah.
Like, I never casually walk past one. If I did, I'll be straight in there. Like, I'm going to uni, I might as well pop in the Lego shop. But there's no such shop to anywhere I go.
Oh, you'll find one. And then you can get two Grandpas as well.
That's right, then we'll have 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I only want Grandpa and Mr. Burns. I mean, I thought they had Mo, but they don't have Mo. They need to have Mo.
Yeah, Mo's a classic. Everyone hates and loves Mo.
They have... Who do they have? They have, like, Nelson, but they don't have Mo.
Oh, no. Oh.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Who wants a Nelson?
Mo could have, like, a little beer glass, like Duff, and maybe... a
knife?
Yeah, a knife or a shotgun.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Or a sledgehammer. He does have one.
Does he?
Yeah, you know the one where Homer tries to borrow money? And it's like, as collateral, I am going to have to break your legs.
Yeah.
Then he brings out a hammer.
Yeah, or instead of a Duff glass, it could be the jar of pickled eggs.
It could be.
The magical.
And then there's a crushed cockroach underneath it.
Yeah, and there's a black egg in it as well. There's so many ideas. There's so much possibilities for these Lego things.
They just didn't even try.
It's like putting a poo in Hit and Run. It's just bizarre, you know.
Everyone loves a poo.
Oh yeah, it's great. But I want Mo. Love Mo.
Right, do you want to get to the first and probably only news story.
I told you that story wasn't hilarious, by the way.
Well, I've heard it like 3 times. I'm sick of it.
I'm sure people listening are laughing their socks off.
They're just like, haha, 2 grandpas.
That's crazy.
What a world.
Oh.
So yeah, first news story, if you could call it that. So Mario Golf World Tour is going to be released next week, and Nintendo announced during the week that they're going to have a DLC plan. So I'm not sure if Nintendo has actually properly done DLC before. I want to say they have in some form, but with Mario Golf World Tour, they've now gone all in. So they're going to do 3 DLC packs. One comes out on the first day, one comes out towards the end of May, and I believe one comes out at the beginning of June, and you can buy a season pass so you can get access to all 3 DLC packs. Now, the reason I bring it up is because, A, it's kind of cool that Nintendo are getting in with DLC. People have always kind of slagged off Nintendo for not keeping up with the times when it comes to their online services, so it's cool that they are actually attempting this now and seeing how it goes. But the second reason, and the main reason, is because a lot of people have been bitching about this one and complaining and saying, oh, it's like half a game, because also Mario Golf World Tour in America, I believe, got like a price cut. I don't know if it's $5 or $10, but it did get like a slice, a small price cut, so you can now get the game cheaper. But I think this is people not actually looking at the DLC and the season pass and seeing what it actually is, because the season pass over here is around 10 quid, so you get 3 DLC packs. Now in total for that 10 quid you get 108 holes. So
holy crap.
Yeah, it's a lot of content, and then in each one you get a playable character, and if you buy the season pass you get a 4th playable character as a Golden Mario. And you may think, no one knows golf, so you might be thinking, what exactly is 108 holes, and what does that, is that a lot? Well, the game itself contains 126 holes, and that game costs like, well, in America it'd be like 25 quid, the equivalent of, but over here 30 quid. So 10 quid for 108 holes, almost as much content in the game itself, is like it's great. That's really great value. Now, if you buy the DLC pack separately, you'll be paying around 15 quid for them, which is still pretty good, but could be better. But I think people are just afraid of DLC. They just don't like the idea of it. So some people are always going to complain, no matter what form a DLC pack comes in.
So it's more holes, some playable, more playable characters.
Yeah, you get 1 playable character in each DLC pack.
Are they good playable characters?
They're just they're just more Mario characters. I can't remember. They did announce exactly who, but they're just kind of standard. Like, oh, I can't remember who. Maybe like Bowser Jr., something like that. The standard Mario character.
Okay. To be honest, I can't really get too interested in a golf game. I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but yeah.
Well, it's not about the golf game, Joe. It's about
principles.
People. It's about the principle of the matter. Yes, it's about people don't want to be ripped off. People don't like the idea of DLC, and I think the biggest complaint is, oh, they're selling us half a game and expecting us to go out and pay for it, but then the rest of the game you then have to buy in DLC. But that's not the case, because 126 holes it's normally 18 holes in golf to a course, so that's 7 different courses. And I looked it up because I was thinking, hey, that might be a legitimate complaint. If they're selling us half a game and World Tour doesn't have as many holes as other Mario Golf games, then yeah, that's kind of not very cool. I looked up, the GameCube one has 7 courses with 18 holes, so it has 126 holes. So it's the exact same amount. So there's no complaint. There's no content being cut out. The 3DS game still has as many holes as the GameCube one. It has the RPG system they added in. They've got mini games. They still got plenty of playable characters. So if you actually look at the game itself, that is already a full game. That's a full, complete game that's like equivalent to anything else. And if they never announced DLC, nobody would ever complain about it not having enough content. But of course, they put out DLC and talk about the season pass, and instantly people are like, oh, I'm not paying more to complete the game. But really, it's like you're almost doubling the content by paying a fraction of the cost. And it means that they probably couldn't fit on an extra 108 holes. So at the same time, it probably is a necessity to have it as DLC. So yeah, I agree that there are companies out there who are awful when it comes to DLC. But I was happy when this got announced, because even though I'm not planning to get the game, it's good to see that Nintendo offering good value DLC and just a lot of it, and it makes sense.
Okay, right. First of all, people moaning. I'm sick of people moaning. Right?
Yeah.
Don't like DLC. Don't buy the damn stuff, and tell them with your money. But listening to that, right, sounds pretty good, because I'm. You may not know this, but I'm pretty much an expert at golf.
Well, that's obvious.
Yeah, I build it in Minecraft form. My star sign is a Libra, and their chosen sport is golf.
Is that true?
Yeah, every star sign has their own sport.
That doesn't sound...
It is scientifically proven that makes me good at golf. And you know what? I'm pretty good at golf. No, I'm not really. But the thing is, with this game, extra holes don't affect, your original game at all, in the slightest. So there's no possible way you can moan about not having the full game, because it's like a kind of cherry on top. It's not like any other games where it's like a weapon that could do more damage or something. It's just extra holes. It's fine.
Yeah. There's no microtransactions to give you an advantage. It's not like story DLC, because I think we did complain about the Left Behind DLC for The Last of Us, and how you got to pay for it, but the story is fine but not needed, and just it doesn't stand by itself very well. So yeah, when it comes to story DLC, you kind of can complain, and when it comes to multiplayer DLC, you can complain, because paying for extra guns just seems... I don't hate it, but if they're better guns, and paying to win is awful. Yeah. But this is a golf game. You just pay so you have a couple more locales to shoot off the tee and whatever the golfers like to do. I don't get how you can really complain. And I think people got more suspicious because Nintendo lowered the price in America. But really, that's even better, because like I said, if you look at the facts, it's a complete game. It's a whole experience. Because that's when I get annoyed about DLC and Season Pass. If I can't buy a game that feels complete without buying DLC, then that's awful. That's where the failure comes in, and that's where I feel ripped off. It's like, oh, well, now I have to buy more. Like in Assassin's Creed 2, you have so many sequences, and then it's like sequence 12 or something, where you just skip it, and then as DLC you buy it, and then you can play that sequence. That's terrible. That's the wrong way to do it. But if you can still have a complete experience, like with a golf game, it's quite easy to do, then you can't complain.
If the DLC contained the Iron 3000, which scores a hole-in-one anywhere,
quality club,
then maybe I'd be a bit suspicious. But I think we're fine.
Yeah, I think we're fine. Like, Nintendo have been really good when it comes to DLC. Like, I did think of one where they had DLC, and that's Pikmin 3. And every time on Pikmin 3 they released, because they had the story mode and then the mission mode, so they kept releasing new missions as DLC packs. But every time they released one DLC pack, they would release 3 missions and then a 4th one for free. So you have to update your console to be able to download the DLC, and as part of that update you get one of the missions for free, and you can just play that outright. So that was awesome, and the price was very reasonable on that. And I think this is awesome, and for 10 quid that's very reasonable. I think 10 quid will buy you one Call of Duty DLC map pack, where you get 4 new maps, and that's about it. And I know it's different because that's a competitive shooter, but when you compare 4 extra multiplayer maps for the same price as 108 holes in a golf game, you can't complain at value, because it's good value. You're paying for a lot of content.
I've got to ask a quick question about Mario Golf.
Okay.
I never played Mario Golf, I don't think. Or have I? No, I've never played that game. Is it just a golf game, or has it got like cool sort of Mario twists to it?
It's there. Well, the courses take place in like a Mario world.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have a course where there's like, oh, there's Princess Peach's castle, or oh, this is lava because of Bowser, or in this one, I think there's the Donkey Kong one where if you hit your golf ball into a DK barrel, then it gets shot off across the course. So it does play mostly like a golf game, but yeah, it's twisted slightly, so it is very Mario. All the courses come from Mario, and all the characters are, but you can play it like a normal sports game. But yeah, it is very Mario.
Oh, that's good. I just wondered.
Because also this one's like an RPG, like the Game Boy Advance one and the Game Boy Color one was, where you play as your Mii and you can level up and customize your thing and all that. So there's that too. It's not very Mario, but that's in there.
Another very important question: can you turn around and hit the people watching?
No crowd.
Oh, no crowd. That's a shame.
Although in the GameCube one, when you hit your ball in flowers, Pikmin would come flying up, and that was cute and fun.
Can you injure them?
No, they just fly up and then fall back down again. Very little injuries take place in Mario Golf World Tour.
Fine. Just wondered. I like doing that in the title. I think I downloaded the demo just to do that. Violent child I was.
Was that on like the PS2 or 360?
360, I think.
Did you use the Kinect?
No.
Oh, you missed out.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, of course it was. Yeah. Oh, I did miss out. Virtual. I'd probably kill the people. You know, if you got hit in the head by a golf ball at a high speed on your temple, that could kill you.
Yeah, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're dead.
So, a very violent game, that one.
Well, it can be.
Yeah, it is.
Although, to be fair, GTA could be a very nice game if you choose not to murder anyone.
Well, yeah, it swings and roundabouts, you know.
You know, in Tiger Woods Golf, you can be murdering people with golf balls. In GTA, you can, stop by the traffic lights and just honk at passing people and have a nice day.
I have done that. I think everyone's done that. Yeah, you're right.
God, that just it takes 2 seconds for it to get dull.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna drive normally. Oh, this is boring.
It's like, American roads. Oh, come on.
What am I doing? And then you actually think, what am I doing in my life?
God, I need to play a better game.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
go out and learn to drive. How about that? That might be a bit more fun.
God. That just reminds me of like that stupid Guitar Hero argument that people had when that was really big. Where it's like, why don't you just go out and play a real guitar? And it's like, well, not the same thing. You could say with GTA, why don't you go out and actually murder prostitutes? Just go out the door, get a gun, do it. It's like, yeah, I think you're missing the point of a video game and somebody wanting to just enjoy themselves, as opposed to accomplishing that in real life.
Yeah, those guys suck. Who say that? They suck. I never played those games, but they suck.
This is quite late to bring it up because Guitar Hero and music games has been dead for a while. But I never quite understood that argument because I can play the guitar and I can play Guitar Hero and they're vastly different, like vastly different in the same way that it's different to playing Call of Duty or playing Mario Golf. It's not as easy to just smack the ball as it is to sit down with a 3DS and hit it into a Donkey Kong barrel and see it go shooting up and be like, "Way, nice shot, woo!"
So you play guitar, do you?
Yeah. No, as like a hobby from time to time.
Then what? Not that I'm saying it's bad, but why have we got time to it as his intro? You should be doing like some acoustic sort of thing. Come on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't know what that means.
Well, acoustic thing? That means
I don't have an acoustic guitar. I don't.
Oh.
I'm a bit of a. I don't like how they sound.
Oh.
So I just stick with the electric.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah.
Well, I don't have my amp with me, so.
Fine, we'll leave it. Don't worry about that idea. Move on.
Okay, I'll do it for next week.
Time Splitters is great. Let's not even question it.
Hmm.
Stick with Time Splitters 2.
I'll try and learn it. I think I can. I don't think it's that hard. It's just if somebody's tabbed it online, which I don't know how big Time Splitters is for somebody to do that.
Oh, I bet they have. I hope they have.
Well, I have looked up video game music, and you get like the classics, like a lot of Zelda songs, Mega Man, Castlevania, and stuff like that. But I think you'd be surprised. Like with Time Splitters, I'm sure there's some, but I doubt if like all the songs are tabbed.
Get on it, Graham Norgate.
You almost said Graham Norton.
No, I did not say Graham Norton.
Ah, you're thinking about it.
No, I did not. I was questioning whether Norgate was his name. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, get on it.
Is that how you say his name then? Graham?
Yeah.
I thought it was like Graham. Like it's not spelt like Graham.
Gream.
Gream.
Alright, Gream.
Yeet.
Yeah, I think it's Graham.
Maybe.
Yeah, get on it.
Yeah.
He listens, I'm sure.
The Disaster Cast is going very well.
Michael Caine and Biscuits.
That's right. He'll save us.
There you go.
Somehow.
Alright, we're stopping
Right,
here.
Yeah, let's move on. And Uncharted.
Oh, okay.
So I've heard through the grapevine that you finally got to the end of Uncharted 2.
That grapevine was correct.
The last you left us, you were kind of into Uncharted 1, but thought, hey, this is okay, but I'll wait till the sequel. And then you were having a not great time with Uncharted 2, but you were going to wait until you finished it, and now you finished it. So what do you think?
It's bad. It's a bad game.
Oh.
In my opinion, it's a bad game.
Oh.
For many reasons. Many reasons. So you're right. I played Uncharted 1 and I finished feeling mixed emotions. It had potential, but I don't think it quite saw it out. And fair enough. It was the first one. So it's always going to be the way.
So when you say you felt the first one had potential,
yeah,
in what parts of the game?
Gameplay, as in it was very repetitive, as in a bit of jumping, a bit of sort of Prince of Persia type stuff, firefight, jumping, firefight, again and again, and then you have a bit of story. Oh no, the bad guys got to the treasure before Drake. Now we've got to chase after him, and then rinse and repeat. Right? That I thought could be better. More sort of mechanics, game mechanics, shooting and things, like even stealth, which to be fair they did do, so that's good. Graphics and that you can't complain about. They all look great. I admit that. Lovely looking games. And also the story I think was quite crappy in all these games. Well, the first two. I don't think they're very good at all. It's supposed to be like Indiana Jones sort of thing, and obviously Lara Croft, but it just doesn't work. And I'll tell you why. Right, so we'll move on to Uncharted 2.
Okay.
Uncharted 2, the problem with it... Actually, should I say good things first?
Yeah.
Let's say the good things first then. Good things. Obviously, the graphics are very good. When did this game come out? 2009?
9, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure when people played it back in 2009, it was absolutely beautiful. And it still is. So that's good. Can't fault that. You can't fault in terms of like how it ran. It was all smooth. No choppiness or whatever, if you want to start on that technical side. And the ending, we're going to get into spoilers here because I got to. Alright?
Oh.
It's not really a spoiler anyway. It's the ending. Actually, no, it's not a spoiler. Because obviously you're going to fight the bad guy. And the bad guy, what's he called? Lazarevich. The way they did the boss battle was actually pretty good because it actually felt sort of... it made me a bit nervous because what happens is he chases you around this map, this confined map, and you have to time when you shoot these bombs and they damage him. But the fact that he's constantly chasing you and you hear him in the background, I thought that was pretty nice. It kind of reminded me of in wanted to do. Oh, so many spoilers now. In Last of Us,
Right.
with the creepy
With
paedophile.
the plates. Do you want to just
Yeah.
avoid spoilers? The plates.
Yeah, the plates. Well,
People know what you mean by the plates.
the plate bit.
Although you already said creepy paedophile.
Well,
so...
it's pretty obvious that he's creep. He's a creep.
Yeah, it's not great.
So yeah, it kind of reminded me of that where he's chasing you now. I like that bit because it actually felt, oh, he's chasing me. No, bad stuff. So much bad stuff. Unfair checkpoints. I find not as in like, well, how do I mean this? They weren't terrible as in like, oh, I've got to do all this again. But it just feels like if they'd actually played the game, they'd realise where the natural steps are to do it, and it didn't. Right. It felt like they were off. So there'd be a checkpoint where they didn't feel like there should be one, and then the other way around.
So it's the checkpoints were off rather than a case of, oh, when you died because of the boss, because the gunfights are tedious, then that made the checkpointing seem worse. So it was just that the checkpoints were off.
Well, now you say that, it was a little bit of that bit as well, actually.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah, they were just a bit off. Like, they're desynced a bit, maybe. If we're going into that sort of thing. The story, awful.
Good.
I read this online. I was like, right, what do people think about this game? Like, how much do they like it? What do they like about it? And they were all saying, "Oh, the story's great. I love the story for this." I think it's awful. It's about Marco Polo and chasing after the Chintamani stone. Blah 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 blah. Loads of made up stuff. Who cares? The problem with it is they set up these fairly good characters, but they don't do anything with them. So you have Nathan Drake, obviously. You have Elena, who is your sidekick from the first game. She comes back. You have Sully, who's a kind of wisecracking old guy. Like, oh, I've been in the game too long, sort of thing. You have Chloe, who is a former relation of
tension.
Nathan Drake. Yeah, and you have some other people as well. So quite a nice cast of characters, but they just don't. It's all the same, and they have no sort of emotional impact at any point in the game. There's parts of stories where you think someone's going to die, but oh no, they don't bother. They don't go through with it. If they'd actually killed off someone, I would have been like, oh wow, okay, that's pretty good. But no, they don't do that, and that I thought sucked. Have some guts, but no. So it's all kind of like returns to status quo at the end. So nothing's really happened. The bad guy, you don't really see much of him, and at the end of the game, you have like this little discussion with him, and you start having that thing a bit like Batman, where the Joker's, or does he say this? Along the lines of Batman and Joker, where he's like, oh, actually no, this is definitely not Batman and Joker, because Batman doesn't kill anyone.
Well, in Batman, he says, we're going to be doing this for a long time, you and I. That's what he says.
Yeah, I'm way off then. What the bad guy says to Drake is, you call me the monster. How many people have you killed trying to get to me? That sort of thing, you know.
Oh.
That sort of who's the real monster here, and
Ooh.
that doesn't work either, because A, you don't see enough of the bad guy to kind of take anything he says too seriously, because he's just this over the top villain, and B, you don't really sense that Nathan Drake feels that way anyway, because at no point throughout the game is he like, oh, I feel bad about that. Not like in, say, The Last of Us, where sometimes, Ellie would go, Jesus Joel, Jesus Joel, and stuff like that,
Joe.
and you think, oh yeah, I did just kill someone in front of a little girl. There's no sort of thing like that. It's just you kill all these people, they're just waves of enemies. So that just didn't work at all, that sort of thing.
Well, many games have done that before. Just thinking about it right now, Haze tried to do that, and it did an okay job, but it themed, like in the whole game, that was a theme about the whole moral thing. And then Metal Gear Rising did that, where halfway through the game you break down because of all the people you've killed. That game is just silly, so it handles it in a very over-the-top Japanese way, but it's a central theme. And then Metal Gear Solid 3 does that as well, where you have a boss fight against someone called the... Oh, what's it like? It's not the End. It might be. But either way, you're fighting like this ghosty guy, and the whole boss fight is that you're just walking down this river, and then every single person you've killed appears as a ghost, and you have to walk past every single one of them as you're walking down this river. So it's been done, and it's been done pretty well.
Yeah.
But from what you're saying, it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't really hit home.
Exactly. It comes out of nowhere. There's no sort of foreshadowing that he feels any sort of emotional impact of all the death. And it's just generic enemies anyway, so you don't ever, feel like you're killing anyone, bad, because it's just, it's another military guy. Last thing that, probably the main thing that sucks about this game, and it's carried on over from Uncharted 1. It's something that I wanted them to fix, but they didn't, and it's just all the same gameplay. I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, but what you get at the beginning of the game is exactly the same as the end. There are no new sort of... even if they had a new sort of way to take down enemies, or, I don't know, a new sort of maneuver to do something, it's not. All the things are exactly the same. New guns, great, whatever. Oh, now I can use a noob tube, great. But that's what really got me. It's like, Endgame is just the beginning.
When we talked about it last time, we came to the conclusion that you don't need it, but you still need to have variety throughout. So, is there just no variety in the gameplay at all?
There's none. There really is no variety. It's jump and then shoot. Jump, shoot. That is it. That's like the main thing that I thought, wow, really? This is people like this game when it's just the same thing for so long. This game is too long. It's too damn long. I thought we were near the end. No, there's this whole other chapter. It's like in Austin Powers 2, I want to say, where there's an agent and she just keeps on taking all these shots and he's like, why won't you die? It's that. It's why won't you end? No. Doesn't end.
Oh dear.
Until it does, and then it's alright. Best thing about the game is the end cutscene. Well, the ending overall.
So you don't think it deserves a 96 on Metacritic, one of the best games of all time?
Absolutely not. Unless I was in 2009 and maybe I would think differently then.
Well, the other games that were released around then were... I'm trying to think. I think Borderlands came out in that year. I think Modern Warfare 2 came out in that year. So, I'm not even sure if you would be like... You would probably be more impressed by the graphics, but I'm not sure if you would have been so... Like, I guess third-person shooters were relatively new, which sounds odd, because I feel like they've been around for ages, and nothing has really happened in that genre since they started.
Yeah. That's odd, that.
Like,
maybe
The
I
Last
wouldn't
of
feel
Us is a
differently.
third-person shooter, but it's good because it doesn't focus on the shooting. In fact, the whole point is that it focuses on survival and stealth, so that it completely moves away from those sort of mechanics. But it sounds like in Uncharted 2, they cemently stick to just shooting guys behind cover.
Yep, that is all it is.
But what about... Have you played Gears of War?
A little bit.
Did you think that game was good?
No. I thought that was boring as well.
See, it might be a case that you just don't enjoy third-person shooters, because I played Gears of War. I haven't played Uncharted 2. I own it, but I only played the first half an hour or so. And I loved Gears of War. I think it's like one of the best third-person shooters where, you know, when you break that game down, you are essentially just hiding behind cover and shooting at guys. So it might just be the case of... I'm not saying that this disregards all your complaints of Uncharted 2, but it might just be the case that third-person shooters aren't for you.
Well, maybe, but I played that Gears of War when I did play it. I played it before Uncharted, obviously, and I think I remember playing it. It was maybe split screen, so I couldn't really enjoy the game. I was playing it with a friend. But saying this now, just immediately, I would rather play Gears of War simply because it is like an alien sort of environment. It's like what you say about GTA and Red Dead Redemption. GTA is not as interesting because it's just normal, and it's kind of the same. Like, I would much rather play as the guy out of Gears of War shooting aliens than I would be Nathan Drake shooting just people. So,
okay.
Yeah, maybe it has got something to do with that, but I think at the same time it's just dull. There you go, ran over.
Because the only reason why I would try and question you saying that is because it's 96% on Metacritic. It's so highly rated. It's higher than The Last of Us. So Uncharted 2 is like apparently beloved by the critics, and I haven't really heard anyone say it's bad in any way. So it's pretty interesting.
Well, that's what makes me so confused. I feel like I'm the sane one, and everyone else is insane for liking it. But maybe I'm the insane one.
You know what, Joe? You're in good company. All right, type in Jack 2 on YouTube, and you'll see a whole community of people who dislike me and think I'm dumb and a noob and stupid and a noob because I don't like Jack 2, which or coincidentally enough, is another Naughty Dog game and is the second in one of their series. So you're in good company.
Yeah, there's a pattern emerging here. What was this? I actually quite like second Crash Bandicoot. So
no, Jack though.
I know. I'm just like extending it a bit further.
But have you played Jack 2?
No.
You got to play Jack 2.
I have played a bit of it. Yes, I have played some of it. I have. Yeah,
you need to play more of it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you can be on my side about this, and then I'll play Uncharted 2 some more because I do own it, and then I'll be on your side, and we can just be the lonely, hateful 2 dynamic duo.
I do vaguely remember not enjoying that game very much. Jack 2,
great.
but I can't remember why. It might have been a checkpoint actually. I think.
The checkpoint's brutal.
Yeah, I think that was what it was actually.
Like just horrendous.
I remember going to this sort of creepy tree and rocky place. It's quite near the beginning of the game, and I died, and I had to do it all over again. I'm done.
See, I think you got to make a video just because the feeling I have with Jack 2 at the moment is just like, okay, if you like the game, fair enough, but why can't you see my point of view on this? And it'd be quite interesting if you made a video and the same thing happened, because I think you would probably hit that same wall of people on the internet where they wouldn't just disagree with you. They would be like, Uncharted's amazing, you're stupid and bad at the game if you hate the checkpoint system. Which is just the most bizarre thing. It's like, you don't have to agree, just come on. You seriously don't see that checkpoint system. You seriously don't get annoyed by that.
Yeah, there's some things where it's like, it's staring you in the face. How can you not see this? I would like to do that just to see what the reaction would be, but yeah, maybe not.
It's great.
Is it great?
Really,
well, look, I'm used to being called a noob, right?
Oh, no, come on.
I'm used to it, alright? Ratchet and Clank has told me that enough times already, thank you very much.
Directly.
Yeah, it's just no beating around the bush. You are a noob, and you're, die the most. Great. Thanks. I could take it.
Didn't have to point it out.
Yeah, I could take it probably. It's fine.
But no, so Uncharted 3 breaks deception.
It will decept me. That's a word, isn't it? Decept. Is that
yeah.
One? Yeah, that will decept me, perhaps, into thinking it's a good game. But I'm not going to play that. You were quite right. I need a break.
Alright, yeah. So, Bioshock Infinite, here we come.
Yeah, I'll play Bioshock Infinite instead. See how that is.
We're just, by another year of the podcast, we're just going to have this list of games that we as a podcast don't really like or think are overrated, but most people like it and think they're good. So far we got Jack 2, we got Uncharted 2, we got Bioshock Infinite, but you need to play that, then I need to play Uncharted 2, then you need to play Jack 2, and we can really get this list going, and we can really distance ourselves and make people hate us.
You realise that I'm really going to like Bioshock Infinite?
Well, I don't think it's bad, but
you know, anything different to Uncharted, I am really going to like it, I have a feeling. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, you know, Bioshock Infinite is so many different themes, and like when you fight Ghost Mum.
Ghost Mum?
Yeah, it's not even a lie. You have to fight a Ghost Mum.
That sounds amazing. I want to do that right now.
No, it's not. It's stupid.
Why?
It's stupid.
Well, Uncharted, you fight zombies and stuff, so that's just as stupid. Don't worry.
No, I think Ghost Mom is dumber than zombies.
Okay. I don't even understand what you mean by Ghost Mum, to be honest.
It's somebody's mum, and she's just a ghost thing that can summon these like demons to attack you. In like, I don't know, Elder Scrolls, that would be fine. But in BioShock Infinite, God, that game's so retarded at the end. Like, it just as you're playing it, just think, for the first couple of hours you're playing, it's like, hey, this seems pretty good and interesting. Just think that it's all building up to Ghost Mum and then sci-fi nonsense. It's just, oh god, it's embarrassing.
Is it like, did they pull a Crystal Skull?
I haven't seen that film.
Oh, that's right. I always bring it up when you say you've never seen it. Good.
Haven't heard good things.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Right, so any last thoughts on Uncharted before we move on?
I'm still thinking about Ghost Mum. Uncharted, you're all crazy. You're all crazy who like it. That's all. You're all freaks. No, I just don't see it. That's
okay.
All. Don't see it.
But you saw it in The Last of Us.
Yeah, I saw it in The Last of Us. That was a good game.
Which third-person shooter made by Naughty Dog.
They got something right with that game. It's odd. It's very odd.
Because that's it. You don't want to dislike a Naughty Dog game because they've made so many games and there's like a certain quality that they've upheld for years. But then there's just something about, well, I guess there's something for you about Uncharted 2 where it's just I'm guessing the polish is there. It's just not good.
Here's the phrase that describes it perfectly.
Oh no!
It's a polished. You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Say it.
It's a polished turd.
Oh, come on!
And Mythbusters even tested that, and it works. So it's a polished turd.
What, Uncharted 2 or a turd?
I'll have to see. It's like Uncharted 2 sucks. Confirmed.
Yeah, not busted.
No, they did. They polished the turd.
Ugh.
It was a lion's one, I think, or something. Some animal.
Yeah, I think you could do it. I mean, what was the test?
To see if you could do it.
Well, of course you could. It's just polish.
What do you mean by polish?
Just polish. Just, I don't know. Just go to a shop. Be like, 1 tub of polish, please.
No, it's not like that polish.
Oh.
They mean like rub it until it forms a ball.
Oh.
Like polish it into a stone. Yeah, that's what they did. They made it into... You should see the video. These really super smooth round balls.
Oh my god.
And they are really shiny.
That's awful.
It was great. I love Mythbusters.
I mean, I'm glad it's confirmed, but...
It's not like just grabbing a bit of poo and then spraying some Mr. Sheen on it. It's more.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought it was you make it shiny by, like, putting polish on it or something.
Well, they did it their way, I guess.
Yeah, it works.
It works, yeah.
Slag off their scientific journey.
Yeah.
But that's not the way I would go about it. But I guess that makes more sense than... Ugh, yeah, it's horrible.
Okay, I want to see you upload your version of it then.
I will. Just, hey guys, here's a turd. I just got back from Master with a cloth and some polish. Let's see what we can get accomplished.
And it's just, like a 3-hour video. There you go.
It just cuts to, like, some guy like, I really think he can polish this turd. I think he's, there's a lot of theory behind this, and I think he can really get that good shine.
Wow, you got, like, proper scientists and stuff. This is going to be great.
Yeah. I just go into uni, go to the science section, be like, hey guys, I got this idea. Turds, can you polish them? Go.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Mythbusters have done it, so you don't need to, but if you feel so inclined...
I do.
Okay.
I guess.
Good.
But I don't know any lions, so I guess I'll have to figure that one out.
Horse.
Yeah, horse? Or maybe cowpat.
Yeah, cowpat will do.
They're quite... I don't know.
I think they picked lions because it was most similar. Oh, God.
Right.
Yeah, let's just not get into that, actually. I'm just going to stop there.
I'm glad we avoided that bullet.
Yeah, let's just move on.
I'm glad we didn't get into it.
No, what have we just been talking about for the last 5 minutes?
Not turds.
No.
That's for sure.
Disaster Cast.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Gets better and better. Okay, now it's your time to rant. I don't know if it is a rant or not.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw in a curveball.
Oh, okay.
Mix things up. I'm going to keep it gaming related with something else. And that's this week I tried... I can't do a drumming thing. I tried the Oculus Rift.
What?
Yeah. It turns out a mate of a mate had one. So we borrowed it for a day. And spent the day messing around using the Oculus Rift.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
How does this... They're really expensive, aren't they?
Maybe. I haven't looked it up.
How do you have a friend of a friend? What connections do you have?
You know.
I'm dubious.
I think there's a decent amount of them out there, but it's just if you wanted to spend the money. And because it was a Kickstarter, so I think a load of them did get out of there just because people put money into it. And it made a lot of money, so that's a lot of people who would have bought one before it was even built.
Well, I'm jealous.
Yeah. Okay, so we tried it out, and it was pretty cool. I think I couldn't play that many games. I think I played 3 games, personally. I played Alone in the Rift, I think it was called, Mining Mike, and Half-Life 2. Now, Mining Mike was just some dumb game where you were on a minecart jumping between 3 different rails to avoid stuff and collect coins, so that was complete pointless waste of time. Alone in the Rift was a horror game, very similar to Slender, where you're just walking around this wooded area, and you kind of have got to follow these lights, and there's actually like no gameplay to it. You're just kind of in this area for a bit, and stuff happens. So the first thing you notice is that it's not like HD. It's not blurry when you put it on, because the whole point is that it's 2 different images, and you can see the 2 different images on the laptop or computer screen, and then they get put into your eyes once you kind of sync that all up. So it's just a bit more pixely or something like that. It's kind of hard to describe. It just doesn't quite look as good as a computer screen. And also, it's not in proper widescreen, because it's actually your eyes. So you can't see like the top of the screen or the corners of the screen as well, because the screens are actually curved for your eyes, so you can't see as well. So that's what made it pretty effective when it came to playing Alone in the Rift, because it was like a horror game where the whole thing goes on your head, like you can't see anything, although a big flaw of it is that you can just look down and you can just see perfectly. So the best way to kind of have it is to have everything pitch black, so then you can't just see the light. Like, when you're actually looking at the screen, you can't see the light, like, coming in from below, but you can just look down and straight away see, which kind of takes away the immersion a little bit. But then again, I guess you kind of have to, so you can put your hands on the keyboard and the mouse and kind of things like that. But something that was really odd when I was playing Alone in the Rift is that the controls completely messed up, because it tracks your head. So you can either move the mouse like a traditional first-person game and move your character like that, or you can physically move your head to look around, which was really cool. Like, it was cool to just kind of get that perspective that you wouldn't usually have, where you're standing straight, but then you physically move your head all the way to the left, and you can only go as far left as your head physically allows you to. So that was awesome. But then it led to the controls being wrong, where it like desynced it, but I don't think it's an actual problem. It's just with that game they hadn't figured out the controls. So when they properly implement oh god, I can't speak. When they properly sort out the controls, then that won't happen. But it meant that to go forward, I had to press down and right eventually over time, because I kept turning my head to look around. So it was pretty cool. I wasn't as immersed in the game as I thought I would be, but then I think a big thing with that is that I was playing with 2 other people in the room, and they were talking, and I was talking to them because I was playing a horror game, which they had watched YouTube videos of and were too scared to play themselves. So they were like, Tom, you play it. And I was like, yeah, I'm a big cool guy, I'll give that a go. And it wasn't too scary, but there was some jump scares, and they get you, because when you're physically can't see anything else but this like dark wood, when they flash this like small little girl in your face and do the musical cue, it's like, oh whoa, that's right there, I suppose. Like, you can't not jump. But it's not yeah, I didn't find it as immersive as I thought I would, but I did really like it just because the coolest thing about it is that when you physically look up, you get a real scope of things that are tall. So playing alone in the Rift, you're in a forest, and when you actually go up to a tree and turn your head up, you really feel like it's a proper tall tree right in front of you. Now, it's not in 3D or anything like that, it is just an image, but it was really awesome just staring at this tree. I was just doing that for a long time. I was just like, wait, that's all the way up there. That's really, wow. So I think that was like the best part of it. Not really the immersion, but it did give you a good sense of heights. So I wasn't able to try this, but if there was a game where you could stand on a cliff and look down, I think there might be a game out there where you can do it, but I didn't try it. You would really feel how low down that is. Like, you can really get a sense of vertigo when you use the Oculus Rift, and that's awesome. Apart from that, there's not really that much to it. Like, one thing that I felt is that this is like the first version, and in 2 years' time, when they make a new Oculus Rift and Project Morpheus is out, it's going to be a lot better, like with the graphics on the screen looking closer to HD. But from what I played, it was still pretty cool, and I'm not convinced to rush out and buy an Oculus, and I need a game behind it before I really want to get one for myself, but there's a lot of potential there. I don't think it's quite there. I don't think it's quite been realised with the Oculus, but a lot of potential.
Well, that's cool. The question I have, because I think they've released a few versions, haven't they?
Yeah, I want to say so, but I'm not sure.
Because I know that the first sort of version of it that people played, they did notice that it was pixely, but they did like another one that has a better screen or something, which seemed to fix that problem. So maybe, is it like your friend's earlier one?
It probably is. It probably is the early one.
Okay, I just wondered.
I couldn't say for sure because it came in this like weird little case where you like put it all in and there's foam and it's all nice and it said Oculus on it. But I guess it was the first one. So with the later ones, it probably is a lot better when it comes to the clear pixel effect that you can see on the one I played.
Okay, all right. I have some more questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna act as everyone else who has not had the opportunity to do such a thing, to use the Oculus Rift. Question number 1: how comfortable was it?
It was fine. Like,
fine.
honestly, no problems.
I didn't feel heavy.
It does take up your whole. It's a little heavy, but it doesn't like feel too bad. Like, because you're going into this new experience where it's like, oh, I'm going to actually go into the game. It kind of has like a little bit of a nice weight to it. I mean, some people might dislike it, but it's not heavy on your head. Like, I wasn't getting neck problems or anything like that, or having to hold up my head properly. It did just slot on and strap on and everything got covered, but it wasn't heavy.
Okay. And question number 2: how sort of thing I'd be not worried about, but it would certainly make me think is like, say if I was using it, and say if it's like a pair of headphones that I have, I'm quite clumsy and I might drop them. Did it feel very sturdy?
There's a strap that you can tighten.
Yeah.
It didn't feel as sturdy as I would want, but then it didn't move when I was turning my head.
Okay.
So I think if it was to fall off and break, it would be entirely your fault.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't feel like it's just going to come off at any time.
That's good then. Because yeah, I'd break it straight away. I'd be say if I had a friend who had an Oculus Rift, I'd be terrified. Like I was gonna break it somehow, or I don't know, do something silly.
No, it's fine. It just goes on, and then you're in.
Okay, good. Well, cool.
I mean, something I noticed about it is that, based on what I played, I might be wrong, but it doesn't feel like virtual reality is going to take over every genre. Like, I think the people who were behind Oculus Rift recently said in like 20 years, virtual reality will be the standard over television, which is just kind of silly. And it definitely feels like using it that not every genre would benefit. Like, when I was playing Half-Life 2, there was no benefit for me putting that on at all. It was kind of nice to be in the game like that, and it was cool because your arm is constant, but you can like tilt your head left to right, so you can properly see like your arm in front of you, and it was nice to have that freedom, but there was no benefit in any way. It was just kind of cool. And a lot of it actually comes down to what headphones you use. Because again, if you don't have that good headphones, then you're not going to be immersed in the sound that the game is creating. And I think having the sound is kind of more immersive than having the visuals like close to your eyes. You know, so if you don't have that, you're going to have to get the proper setup to be fully into the game. But like I said, like with Alone in the Rift, with horror games, it definitely does help because it's right there in your face and it feels like you're experiencing it more. But like with certain genres, I just don't think it's going to benefit that much. Like with Uncharted 2, as you were talking about, I can't see having this virtual reality on your head actually really improving the experience unless they, improve upon the technology a lot more.
Do you think... Right, Half-Life 2, you say, was the one that could have worked... Well, it does work without it, because obviously it's an old game. Is that just because you know the game? If it was a new game, maybe?
I don't really know Half-Life 2, because I'm not the biggest fan of that game. So when I played a bit of it, I didn't know it that well.
Okay.
So it was kind of semi... I had actually played that part of the game before when I played it years ago, but I wasn't like, oh, hey, this is like it was... I didn't have a comparison in my head.
Okay, fair enough. I just wondered. That might have influenced you.
I think with... But it's like Mining Mike, which I'm bringing up again because that was the only third-person one, and having it in third person really did kind of take you out of it. Like, there was no immersion at all in that game, and it was just a dumb, silly game that was more just like a silly demo that can, to show off the Oculus Rift. But I want to say that any third-person game wouldn't really benefit, because there are like things, there are things that like you can't see as well. Like you only focus on what's in front of you, so you don't get that widescreen experience. Now it's more realistic to not have the widescreen experience, but when you're playing a third-person shooter, you're not in that character, so you want it to be a whole widescreen experience. So I don't think virtual reality will benefit any third-person game at all. Like, it has to be first-person, or else you're just not adding to the immersion.
Yeah, I always think that as well. Just judging from it, I mean that's what virtual reality is, isn't it? It's like you're in the game. So if you're not, using eyeballs, then who are you acting as? So I assume with that, what was it called? Mining Mike.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Magic Mike. I'm sorry, it just does.
That's okay. We all think of Magic Mike from time to time.
Okay. So I assume you looking around just looks around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of... Yeah, that doesn't really...
But no, it was cool. I mean, like I said, just looking up at trees was cool.
Okay, what about... Alright, so it's not third person.
Right.
It's not first person. What about a game like Civilization?
That could work.
Could that work? I'm just trying to think of it now.
I think that... Yeah, but it would work in a way like in real life if you were playing... Say you were playing Risk or something, and you had like a massive board that you could like swoop over with the controls, and then you can physically look around the board to see what's happening. So I think in that way that could really work.
Yeah.
You can actually... You're looking down on everything that's happening in front of you, and then you can physically turn your head to inspect everything that's going on. Like if you hear a sound, you can just instantly look right rather than scrolling.
Yeah, I think simulation games could be quite cool.
Yeah, I think God games could work great.
Yeah, basically, yeah, you're just God. Yeah, have the Oculus Rift and be God. It's great.
Well,
Amazing.
They've got Goat Simulator. I'm sure they can whip up a God one. Like, come on, guys, what are you doing?
Oh God, Goat Simulator. Yeah. Does your friend who has the Oculus Rift? So did he kickstart it?
Oh, I'm not. It's a mate of a mate, so I've never even met him.
Oh, okay.
Just my other mate showed up. It's like, hey, look what I got.
Oh,
it's an
okay.
Oculus Rift.
Right.
It's like, that's pretty cool.
Did it? So it didn't change your opinion. What about your friends?
They seem to like it, but they didn't play the scary game, so they didn't kind of go all in. But it was cool. That's it. It's not that I wasn't convinced. It was like, this is going to work in a limited capacity. It's not quite there yet, but definite potential and definitely like a cool thing to try out. Because that's it. Because it wasn't mine. I didn't pay money for it. If I did, I would have been annoyed. But because I managed to just play it for free, it was a cool like 20 minutes checking stuff out. And then I was like, okay, that's cool. We'll see where that goes. But if I had paid for it, then yeah, I would have been annoyed.
See, I just wonder. We hear all the stuff about all the journalists and people playing it, but I wonder what, just the average people will think when it comes down to it. Like how much it will actually sway them.
Well, it's just a case of once they try it, will they walk away thinking, I need one of those? And initially, they're going to come out at like 200 quid, I reckon. They're going to be expensive. So, at first, probably not. But if they have the games behind it, like if they can really come up with a cool, like a game that is specifically designed for it, that's a AAA title, then I think when the first one of those comes out, then people are going to jump on board with it, because it is a good idea. And I think it's one of those ideas where you can just say, you can just describe it to someone who doesn't know anything about technology. It's like, yeah, you've seen old 80s sci-fi films, you just put them on and then you play and you're in the game. So, with that marketability, and once the games are there, and it is a cool idea, so eventually, yeah, this is going to be pretty big. Just not right now.
Wait for Farmville.
Yeah, once Farmville's on board, we know it's over.
Then we've got the mums,
That's
Facebook
right.
mums on board. That's a massive group there.
Once The Simpsons tapped out as Oculus Rift compatible, we're laughing.
Actually, I was going to say that would suck, but I just said that God games could work, so I can't even take that back.
Especially The Simpsons.
Especially The Simpsons, yep. Oh, there you go.
Dear.
What have I done?
You monster. But I guess the only game I would like to try out that I didn't is like a driving game, because I think that could work really well, but then, I don't know, I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, that could work as well. Yeah, like Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart, definitely.
Yeah, obviously.
Easy.
Perfect simulation.
Okay, so let's move on to what you actually thought I was going to talk about. Right, for a spanner in the works there.
You sneaky guy, you.
I like to keep it fresh, surprises, polished turds. That's what we're all about.
Yep.
Right, so I saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And what I thought of it, I thought it was great. I actually really liked it. Now, the first thing I've got to say before I get into the film is that when it comes to superhero films, it's like The Dark Knight is on its own separate level. Where comic book films are meant to kind of be a bit silly and whatever. They're not supposed to kind of be these actual masterful films. So when The Dark Knight came along and did a lot of things right and made it like an interesting film outside of the superhero aspect, then that kind of separated it from the rest of the genre. So when I say The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is great, I mean it's a great superhero film and I really enjoyed it. That doesn't mean it's not silly, that doesn't mean it's not, that it separates itself from superhero films. It's definitely a superhero film, but it's a really good one. So the first thing is that I really like the music. One thing that was quite cool is that Hans Zimmer did the music, but there was dubstep in it as well.
What?
Like whenever Electro uses his electro attack and shoots electric, they do dubstep like in time to it. And I'm not a big fan of dubstep, but it was really cool because obviously the electronic sound of dubstep really worked well with Electro trying to attack Spider-Man and do like as the electricity goes. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's hard to replicate dubstep with your mouth.
Right.
So it worked really well and it was actually really cool having this dubstep along. One complaint with the music I will say is that there was like one too many licensed songs in there. Like I think there was 3 licensed songs that were blatantly just proper songs that they had thrown in, but it didn't distract. Something I really liked about this film is that it had Peter Parker being like an insecure guy who's afraid of loss, which makes so much sense for Peter Parker character, considering everything that's happened to him. But it's something that I don't think the original Spider-Man films tackled at all. Like, I don't think that ever came up. The idea of Peter Parker being insecure and being afraid of losing people, because that's his character. Like, I know Batman has, his parents being killed, but Spider-Man has his parents being killed when he's younger, and then Uncle Ben is, like, shot and killed as well. And then you have, at the end of the first Amazing Spider-Man film, Gwen Stacy's dad says, keep Stacy or Gwen Stacy out of it, because you're going to be getting into a lot of trouble and I don't want her involved. So they have him or Peter Parker in the film, in this one, be like, oh god, I don't want to lose you, and just having this real fear of people in his life going away and things crumbling, which makes so much sense considering what's happened to the guy. So I really like that they put that aspect in there, because it made so much sense and it was pretty interesting. And it actually led to something that was quite cool in the film, where Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker's relationship was all over the place. Like, half the time they were together, half the time they weren't, and it was just, they're both young, like they both come out of high school or graduate senior high school or whatever the system is, so they're both like 18, and they're both kind of like messes when it comes to their relationship, where he's like Spider-Man and she's trying to go to Oxford throughout the film, so it just, their relationship is really weird and all over the place, but it makes sense because of everything that's happening and all the big stuff that's going on. So I thought that was really good. Something that needs to be said, that when people, or one of the producers, like, a big issue has been, will it be like Spider-Man 3 with all the multiple villains? And I'm going to say no, it's not. They actually do a really good job and figure it out. But one of the producers of the film, I believe, said that, oh, multiple villains, yeah, we figured it out, but Electro's the villain of this film. And I've seen it, he's not. He's one of the main villains, definitely, but he's not the main villain. He gets not that much screen time. Like, you have Jamie, whatever, as like a normal guy, then he turns into Electro, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna get Spider-Man, and then they have their showdown, and Spider-Man obviously wins because that's how that goes. But there's other stuff going on around it that's a lot bigger than Electro. Like, Electro is just one kind of part of the story, so he's not the main villain. And I still like Electro, because one thing that was cool is that they just played him off as a loser, which he kind of is. Electro was never like a cool, sophisticated villain with a purpose. He was just some crazy guy who got Electro, or got these powers. I haven't read the comic books, I'll be honest, but my impression from the games is that, yeah, he's just like this psycho kind of guy, and he was a bit of a loser. So I like that that's the angle they played, where he's just this guy who just, awful life, nobody pays attention to him, then he gets like these superpowers, so he goes a bit crazy. So that kind of worked. So he had motivation, but it wasn't focused on. But like I said, he's not the main attraction here. There's more stuff going on, which I won't go into because it's, just a lot of people haven't seen it yet. But there's other stuff going on, and I think that works really well. And something that was bad, or my main complaint about the film, I would have to say, even though I really liked it, is that Electro and Spider-Man's final showdown was weak. Electro, like, was built up to have these, like, pretty much infinite power, because he can teleport, and he can just, like, go into the electric lines and just become one with electricity. So it seems like he really had, like, infinite power, and it was really cool to see him using all this different electric attacks. But then, of course, a bit like Star Trek 2 Into Darkness, but nowhere near as bad, when you give a character that much power to make him intimidating and cool, you always have to take him out in such a lame way, because there's no way they can, they have to kind of somehow have Spider-Man win, even though throughout the film it looks like Spider-Man couldn't possibly beat Electro. But yeah, so they had to do it, and they did it in a really weak way, which reminded me of the first Amazing Spider-Man film, where the ending to that film, or the final scene once the lizard becomes the lizard, was a bit weak and just wasn't that interesting. But with this film, because there's other stuff going on, once Electro is done, there's a lot of other stuff happening with that ending. So I won't spoil anything, but it's overall really good. They then there's an extra like 10 minutes after everything has happened where they kind of try to set up the sequels, and maybe it's a little rushed, but I didn't mind it too much. I mean, the film is 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I wouldn't say it's rushed overall. So, the ending was fine. The action was good. It was funny as well. Like, there was some stuff that was genuinely funny. It was well acted. Everyone knew their kind of roles and played it off pretty well. There was some cool kind of twists to what, as in the general universe, what's going on. Like, with Peter Parker tracking down his dad's research and things like that. So there was some cool little twists and setting up their own universe separate from the other films. So I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it, and I need to see it again, but I want to say it's actually better than the first one. And I really enjoyed the first one because it made the other 3 films with bloody Tobey Maguire look like jokes. It actually was like a pretty cool film. So I really enjoyed it, and go see it if you want to see a good superhero film.
Okay. Whew.
Yes.
I have some more questions. I'm on fire with questions. Question number 1. Very important question.
Of course.
How much screen time did Aunt May get?
A lot.
Good.
I would say.
Good.
She's one of the main characters, and they don't introduce Jameson or anything like that. So the main characters are Peter. It probably goes like Peter, Gwen. I don't know. I don't want to rank the other ones, but Aunt May does get a lot of screen time. Like, they do have a lot of scenes together, Peter and Aunt May.
That's good. Question number 2. Well, it's not really a question. More of a statement. But could you say that the whole situation with Electro and the rest of the villains is a bit like Scarecrow in the first Batman film?
What, as in Scarecrow's the one doing stuff, but he's just a pawn to the other
He's
side.
not like the whole villain. He's just a part.
Similar, but there's no... Because that was kind of a twist with Batman Begins. So it's similar, but not exactly the same.
Wait a minute. What about, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. I didn't actually think about the twist. Okay. Well, that's good. I have a few sort of, you just said about the ending. You think they'd get that right?
Well, I think they did. I mean, it's just the Electro stuff that they could have done a bit more to. But like I said, it does make sense. They kind of had to get him out of the way so other stuff can happen. Let
me guess. A lightning bolt came down and they reacted and he got destroyed that way.
No, but it is a very cliche way that he goes.
Ghostbusters. I don't know.
No, not Ghostbusters. No, but it's a very cliched way. Like, how do you take out someone who's full of electricity? It's...
Oh, I don't know. I won't. Yeah, we won't talk about it. But okay, fair enough. So you're gonna watch it again, are you?
Yeah, I don't think I'll go to the cinema, but I will definitely get it when it comes out on Blu-ray and watch it again because I did really like it. But one thing I will say, just so everyone knows, I have like a really big soft spot for Spider-Man. I don't read comic books or anything like that, but I would say I like this film more than Captain America, because even though I really like Captain America, there's just something about Spider-Man I really like. Like, I can't describe it. There's just, ever since I played Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, I was like, wow, Spider-Man's like, he's really cool. So I've always really wanted to like stuff involving Spider-Man, which is why I play the games even though they're really rough around the edges. And the reason why I really like this film and the other film, even though you could like pick out some problems, there's just something about Spider-Man where I just think he's like the coolest superhero, and I want to like everything he's in. And that doesn't mean like I'm a biased fanboy. Like I said, the original 3 Spider-Man films, horrible. But going into this one and having it be good, for me that makes it like even better, because I just like Spider-Man.
Did they bring back Uncle Ben?
No, he kind of died, I'm afraid.
No zombie Uncle Ben. Oh, man. Martin Sheen was just the perfect role for that.
Yeah.
So Sally Field. One more thing. Do they do,
okay,
like in the Avengers films, the post-credit thing?
I never stay for post-credit scenes. I'm just done. The last one I saw, I think, was the one... it was the one that teased 4. And I can't remember. It might have been Iron Man 2, where the ending credits was like, oh, we found this big dumb hammer. What's up with that? So now after that one, I was like, nope. I just walked straight out. But they pretty much did like... Yeah, they pretty much did that during the film. Like, there are some teasers in there where they kind of... Yeah, it's in the film, pretty much. Teasers for what's going to happen next.
Well, I am going to see it, so I just want to know whether I should stick behind or not.
Well, maybe.
I
don't
better.
bother. Like, Captain America 2 had a big one involving the Avengers 2, but as soon as those credits rolled, I'm out of there. I'm not hanging around.
Well, don't mess around.
It's just a waste of time. It's a complete waste of time. Just read it on Wikipedia. It's the same.
What are you talking about? It's not the same.
It is for those teasers at the end. It's the same.
Did you watch the teaser? Well, it wasn't a teaser, but the end thing of the Avengers where they're all eating at that place.
No.
Oh, I can't remember what it was. It was like a type of food, and someone joked about it in the film, and then at the end they're all eating at this restaurant. It's hilarious because it's all these comic heroes in a restaurant eating food. It was good.
Sounds good.
It was pretty good.
The only ones worth sticking around are like Pixar films, but I think they're done with that funny stuff.
Well, they just did outtakes, didn't they?
Well, Monsters Inc. had the whole play.
Wait, did it?
Put that thing back where it came from. Also, help me.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then one of them had the outtakes. I can't remember which one.
Toy Story, I think.
Yeah, Toy Story 2, where they had like Flick in one of them.
Yeah.
That caterpillar showed up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love the caterpillar. Yeah.
See, that stuff I'll stick around for, but I'm not going to sit in the cinema at the hope of being like, oh, that's that guy's thing. Oh my god, I don't even believe it.
You won't be saying that when you realise you missed out on seeing the Goldfish Bowl guy.
Goldfish what?
Goldfish Bowl.
Who's that?
Mysterio.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Robofish from Time Splitters.
Oh no, it could be him as well. But when you find out he was in the post-credit scenes, you'll kick yourself.
Whatever.
I'm telling you now.
I can just read it online and be like, oh, okay, so they're teasing that for the next film. Cool.
Or maybe I don't even know that many. The Vulture, maybe.
Yeah.
He's a Spider-Man one.
No. Vulture was in Captain America 2. No, that was the Falcon. God damn, all these birdsmen.
Too many birds.
Yeah.
It'll be Venom. That's who it'll be.
Well, they're doing a Venom movie instead.
Oh, so it'll definitely be Venom. You missed out on Venom, Tom.
Okay. I would have been annoyed if I missed out on Venom, alright? I will admit that. But there's no way. There's no way.
Alright, fair enough. I really want there to be one now, though.
There probably is, I just didn't see it.
Okay. Oh, man.
Okay, so... Have you played anything else this week or seen anything good?
No. I've played Uncharted 2 and that wasn't good as we previously mentioned, so that's it really.
Damn it.
Yeah. Afraid so.
See, I haven't really... That's it for me. So we might have to be done here for this week.
Well, you've got lots of new Let's Plays starting. You could talk about those.
Well, first we'll do recent releases or upcoming games. It's dark in my room now because the sun has decided to set, so I can't really read it. Well, there's Mario Golf. That comes out on the 2nd of May, which is getting decent reviews, but like, how good can like a reviews be for a golf game? So if you really like Mario Golf and golf games, it seems like this is a really good one, but it's never going to get that high reviews anyway. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't get that high reviews, or the first one. The first 3 films were much better reviewed than these two, which I don't get.
I forgot about a question about Spider-Man.
Oh, bloody hell.
Don't worry, it's not too bad. It's clever. How much Bing was there?
Bing?
Yeah.
Oh, when he's like searching stuff.
Yeah.
There was definitely a scene with Bing in.
Was there really? Oh, for God's sake.
I'm not sure if it actually was Bing though, but he did search stuff Like, he did have that scene that you've got to have where he's like, I've got to find the truth. And then he's just on a computer, like, what happened in the past?
God damn it, Bing.
But that one for me, actually, quickly, when he does do that, because he's like, I've got to find out the truth. And he sets up this whole thing on his wall, trying to connect everything. So the first time that happens is kind of out of nowhere. I don't really have that much to say about it, but when you watch it, just see, like, the first time he decides to do that, it doesn't really make that much logical sense why he would be like, I'm going to put all this stuff on the wall and track some stuff. It's a bit odd.
He's a detective, don't question him.
He's not a detective. Batman's the detective, I think.
Spider-Man's a detective.
Listen, he detects some stuff, sure.
He has a spidey sense.
Yeah, but that doesn't help him. No, Batman's the detective.
Well, I think Spider-Man's a perfectly fine detective.
Well, listen, he can track stuff down. He does a good job. Solid bloke. But I wouldn't describe him as like a detective.
He's a poor man's detective.
Sure.
There you go.
Why not?
Anyway, sorry, go back to recent releases. No Bing.
So The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the game for that comes out on the 2nd of May, which I did have a pre-order for that game on the Wii U, but I cancelled it due to just money. I just can't really afford it right now, and if I want to be... Like, I had Mario Kart 8 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 pre-ordered, and I was like, I can't spend like 75 quid on new games. I've got to cancel one of them, so it came down to The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but on my birthday I'll probably pick it up, which is during May, but I won't be buying it next week, which is a shame because I love the Spider-Man games and this one looks really good, but I won't be getting it on release day.
What were the other ones that you had to pick from?
Mario Kart 8.
Oh, just okay, yeah, all right, fair enough.
So one of those two.
Yeah.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was cheaper, but yeah, I don't know.
That's fine.
And then the final game is a game that looks really good, is Child of Light, which is that Ubisoft UbiArt JRPG mixed with a platformer, and it's just like one of the most beautiful games you'll ever see. And that comes out next week on the 30th of April, so I think this is going to be one of those RPGs where it's actually playable if you don't like them, because it's a platformer / RPG. So it's a platformer where you explore a world and it looks magical and great and all that, but if you're not that into JRPG or just RPGs in general, this one I think can still be played and can still be enjoyed. And like I said, it just looks so damn good. So, Child of Light, next week.
What kind of style does it have, if you say that?
Oh god, I don't know that much about art, but it just looks good.
Okay, fair enough. I wondered if it had a particular style to it.
It does.
Okay.
But I couldn't describe it. I'm not capable.
Pretty looking.
It's nice.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fair enough. I'll just have to Google it.
Yeah, you should. They released this trailer and it's the music, because they don't have any. It's not like a trailer. It's not a typical trailer. It's just them spanning across all these different kind of levels and then just playing this really nice piano music. Then at the end it's just Child of Light, and that's it.
Sounds good.
The whole point it's made by the UbiArt engine, which made Rayman, Origins, and Legends, and the whole point in that Origin is that you draw the concept art and then put it directly into the game. So it's made up of concept art.
Ah, that's good, because concept art, yeah, that's always good. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, so whatever they envisioned for this game to look like, that's exactly what it looks like.
Very good. So everything you see in Rayman is like straight from the artist's mind.
Yeah, they just drew it and put it in and animated it.
That's good. I never knew that.
Right, so what's going on your channel this week? I think a lot, right? Like a lot.
No, not really.
I would say so. Don't put yourself down.
Well,
you got a busy week.
Jack and Daxter will end soon. We're nearly at the last level. I don't think there'll be that much of Ratchet and Clank you and I played anymore. I think maybe 4 or 5 more episodes. And What else is there? There's a bit of Minecraft. I'm gonna probably upload the first half of a stream of Destroy Humans Path of the Furon sometime in the week. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe there is quite a lot. And there's also one other thing, but I can't remember what that is.
Well, you got the Minecraft JSON server, but then you've still got the thing that's still going.
Oh, well, yeah. It's the competition thing. Yeah, that's still going as well. So I suppose that's two separate things. So yeah, there's quite a lot. Oh, but those Let's Plays are just finishing. So then we'll have some new ones roll in to replace them soon. Speaking of new Let's Plays. Oh, did you want to go? Hang on, I had a nice segue onto yours, but did you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say, like, so your new Let's Plays won't start next week. This is just finishing up the current ones.
Nah, probably be a little break in between.
Lazy.
I'm so lazy. So lazy.
Speaking of lazy, I just finished my 2-week break, or 3-week break, I think it turned into.
Lazy.
Well, yeah, you're right. So I started up 2 new Let's Plays. The first was Red Dead Redemption on the 360, and the second was Super Mario Sunshine, which I'm doing with my brother Edward the Guy. So just to let everyone know that there will probably be another short break, because the whole point was that I would record as much as I could during the Easter break and then start uploading, because I'm in exam season, so I don't really have time to record as much as I would like. So I have 6 parts of Red Dead done, and I have 5 parts of Super Mario Sunshine done. So I'm uploading 1 video every 2 days, and once I finish them, that's it. And there might be a few days wait. Oh, I dropped my pen. There might be a few days wait while because I have to go home. I physically don't have any of my recording stuff with me, so I have to go home, start recording again, and then I'll be back to uploading. But that should be, I don't know how many days that will be, but that's just where I'm at. So 6 parts of Red Dead are coming up in the next couple of weeks, and 5 parts of Super Mario Sunshine.
See, this is interesting. Both games, actually, that you picked are interesting.
Thank you.
Because I remember one of the hints you gave for Red Dead was that it's a popular game, and did you say that people have Let's Played it, but not in a certain way, or am I making that up?
Yeah, I think I said something like that, where it's not like one that's been done to death, but it did come out in 2010, so I think I said, like, I haven't seen anyone else Let's Play. I'm not sure exactly what I said, but yeah, something along those lines.
Well, either way, it's definitely an interesting, being an open world one, and I found out a little bit beforehand.
Somehow.
But I was saying to Tom that it's nice because I haven't played the game since it pretty much came out, and I'm sure that's the case with quite a few people.
Like me.
Like you. So it's nice to revisit it and, remember how good of a game it actually was. Like, even just watching your first part, I'm like, man, the intro's so good.
Yeah, and that's what I thought.
It's all I
forgot about that piano and the train ride, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like, there's so many meanings in all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's such meaning. It's really good.
It's just interesting.
And I admit, I was worried at first how you would tackle, because there's a lot of talking in the game. Until you get into like the shootouts and stuff, there's a lot of talking. But no, it's fine. Did you know when to stop and start talking, or did you just roll with it?
For that one, I did, because I recorded that part twice.
Okay.
And actually, in that part, I edited out me talking. When I say, "Oh, this is really easy because I just hold A, and my horse matches the speed of the person I'm following."
Yeah.
Well, that was the second time I said it. I just edited out the other one because I kind of I talked over him.
Okay.
But the other ones have gone fine. It's like there's a little bit of crossover, but it's just, they're going to talk. I'll just be quiet. Because they do limit it to conversations, and that's something that becomes clear later on, and I mention and bring up. But yeah, they clearly have like this set amount of dialogue, so then you just kind of talk a bit in between and just don't go into anything.
No, that's good. Yeah,
and it means I don't have to talk that much. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, when I played the game, I obviously listened to the storyline. I must have, but I think there's a lot that I missed. And now that I can watch it, I can sort of pick up on it. So obviously I know the storylines about John Marston and his gang, and blah 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 blah. But I think I must have missed a lot about the history of the gang. So it'll be good to kind of see that again. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game and there's a lot to it, so I'm excited to just play it again. Because it is, I would say it's one of the best of the generation. Definitely top 5 easy.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So check that out. That's fun.
What was the other thing? I said they were interesting on both parts because Mario Sunshine, it's only interesting for me, but I think I remember saying that was one of the games that I never played that I wanted to, and then I realised I could actually play it on my Wii. So I will watch your Let's Play. Don't worry.
Oh,
but I still want to play the game myself as well. Maybe it will inspire me to buy it.
Maybe. I mean, you can get it fairly cheap. Not that cheap though, because it's a Nintendo GameCube game. So a decent price.
Is it not on any virtual thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
They haven't done the GameCube games yet.
Oh,
and even if it was, it would be on Wii U. So.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough. To eBay.
Way.
But first, your Let's Play.
That's right. But no, so they're both a lot of fun. Pretty happy with the choices, and it's turning out pretty good. Because last year I did Resident Evil Revelations and Sonic 2 HD, and I went for a similar thing. So, yeah.
Tried and tested.
Yeah, and even though no one watched Resident Evil, I still had a fun time doing it.
That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that YouTube money. No, wait.
Well, you've got to have that YouTube cash. Make sure it keeps on flowing.
Oh, yeah. No, wait. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Got to buy those Lego Grandpas somehow.
Shut up. End the podcast now.
Alright, well. Yeah, on that note, I think it is time to end. So, thank you, Mr. McLuckable, for joining me.
Thank you.
Well, don't sound so sad.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, buddy.
No problem.
And we will see you next week.
See ya.